So, Mindhunter Season 2.
Fuck yes. I am 5 episodes in, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it picks up literally like right where Season 1 ends.
Good.
I like it when they do that.
Which is great.
Good.
I hate when I watch Season 2 of something and they pick up like at the beginning of Season 6.
Well,
what shows are you watching?
What I meant by that is there's no here's the recap of Season 1. Here's the recap of Season 1, and then it jumps 6 months ahead of time to start Season 2.
All I can think is like on the previous Walking Dead, and then it's literally a full episode of all the previews that happened over the past 6 seasons. All right, we're all caught up.
Dan, I got a question for you, buddy.
On the next 6 seasons of Walking Dead. Jesus, how long is this going to go on? All right, go ahead.
How does NASA organize a party?
I don't know. How do they organize a party?
They plan it.
He's been waiting to say that for you for 2 days.
I fucking hate you.
And I said, he's going to laugh, and he's like, I fucking hate you, but I love you.
But I do love you.
Oh, how long's that coffee pot been sitting down here?
It's brown.
Oh, that's from last week, isn't it?
I didn't know that was down.
Anybody want a cup?
I'm good.
Yeah, if I want to vomit.
Hard
It's
pass.
The best part of waking up is a week old coffee in your cup.
You got me a cold cup of coffee, Aaron? Well, you said you wanted something cool.
You want some Folgers kernels?
I'll take that old cup of coffee, and you get him a hot, fresh new one. Yeah, Mindhunter Season 2. Can't fucking wait. Gonna start watching it tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
I probably won't get any sleep.
Tomorrow. It's all good.
I think five or 6 episodes in. I think I just finished episode 5.
The thing about killing somebody is that
Natalie's going to get all pissed off because I'm saying this, but I watched Alita, and that was really good.
Alita Battle Angel?
Oh my God.
Yes.
All he does is talk about this fucking movie.
I really like it.
I heard it was shit.
It was a really cool movie.
Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
I didn't
awesome.
say it was
watched
shit.
Twice.
I didn't say it was shit.
3 times.
Ooh, wow.
Good for you.
No,
I didn't
3 times in a week.
Why?
All he does is talk about this fucking movie now.
It's so...
You did this with...
awesome. It's awesome to watch.
Ready Player One, too. It's that kind of movie that you like.
Ugh, I hated Ready Player One.
Why?
Sure you did.
Okay, my only
It
gripe...
wasn't good.
My only gripe with Ready Player One is that I read the book after I saw the movie.
And
Completely different.
The book was way better.
Oh, I didn't know there was a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they should also do is write
different.
books about those Harry Potter movies. That would be amazing.
What
do you guys think of that?
You almost had me. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, they should. Wait a minute.
Hey, what's over there?
Yeah.
See, I've
a whole
been
set
trying to
of
get
them.
him to write Lord of the Rings books.
They won't
and
do
The
it.
Hobbit.
They won't do it.
Like, come on. I want a Hobbit trilogy in book format.
Nope.
Like, let's go.
They got the rights to those movies and they're not putting books out.
And now that Amazon's doing it, it's going to be a TV show.
Yeah,
There's
no reading for anyone.
They were going to write some Star Wars books, but they couldn't figure out how to adapt Captain Picard's character.
Yeah. I read that online.
I want to jump across this table and punch
hug
you
you
for that.
Now, the worst part is when they start making King of the Necklaces. Am I right, guys?
The fuck is that?
Because Lord of the Rings, King of the Necklaces.
I picked up on it. I smell what you're stepping in.
I left.
It was shit.
Oh, horse shit.
Jesus of the Toe Rings.
Ooh. Hazel. Dan wears toe rings all the time.
All I can think is when Ann Perkins is going through her box of stuff from all her old boyfriends, and then Leslie runs across and she's like, is that a toe ring? Gross.
What are you doing in the fridge, Dan? See if my toe rings are magnetic.
I was laughing at the silence.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
What?
I don't understand.
With your feet on the fridge.
I thought you said, what are you doing in the
I
fridge?
meant on the fridge.
That's where you messed up. Do it over.
It was like
I
a
still don't-
silent
I still
death.
don't.
What are you doing with your feet on the fridge, Dan? Seeing if my toe rings are
Yeah,
magnetic.
it still sucks.
I don't get it.
No, because it's like you put your...
I feel like there's a dad joke in there somewhere, but it just puttered out.
I like the silence. I thought that was funnier.
I wish I had a dad.
We don't. Oh my god, it was so funny. So when our car broke down in Minnesota, I was trying to think where the hell we were at when we went on to the Dells.
Soda.
The fact that you don't made it easier for me to date your sister.
I was so tired because I'd been up for over 24 hours at this point.
Right.
And I was delirious. And the kid that we're with, his mom came to help us. She gets out of the car and she hasn't seen him because he was with his dad and then he went with us on vacation. So she gets out of the car and she just runs up. Mind you, this kid's like 17 years old, and they just hug each other and it's so cute. And then she hugs his daughter. And I was like, Mitchell and I were standing there, his youngest, and I was like, I looked to the left, I was like, Dad? I looked to the right, I was like, Mom? Oh, I'm an orphan. I just put my head down. Oh my God, we laughed so hard because we were so tired.
It's little orphan Natalie.
Yeah.
Little orphan Natalie.
Jennifer's here.
Yeah, look who decided to join us.
Hey, he was busy.
5 minutes later.
You know what's a good show that I watched? And I watched over the week, and I watched every single episode. Silicon fucking Valley.
I love Silicon Valley.
Show.
Why didn't anybody tell me this show was good?
Oh, you never seen it?
Because you would.
Oh,
If everybody
This
said
is
it was
your
good,
first
then
time
you would
watching
hate it.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
my God.
so good.
And I loved
I'll
every
watch
fucking minute of
I
it.
will watch anything Mike Judge.
Guilfoyle is my new hero. That man
Yes.
is everything I want to be.
Yes, that's good stuff. I can't believe you've never seen that.
He's like, I'm a Levain
Hey.
Satanist.
If you get a chance, also watch Party Down.
I love that show. That was Adam Scott's like first show.
I love Adam Scott.
But they
And what's
they
his
only
face
had like
from the
2
States?
seasons of that shit.
Yeah.
But Ken Marino was on it.
Yeah,
that
Ken
little-
Marino, that's who it
that
was.
little blonde guy that he plays weird roles sometimes. He's funny in it.
Martin Starr.
Martin Starr was he was awesome in it. He's awesome in
Martin
everything.
Starr's awesome in everything. I love him in Silicon Valley. I loved him in Freaks and Geeks. Like I loved
never
him in
watched
Knocked
Freaks
Up.
and Geeks.
Oh
It's
my-
a very Judd Apatow
you need to.
early.
It's
like,
on
you
Netflix.
It was for a long time. I don't think it is anymore.
Did you know that Seth Rogen was in Donnie Darko?
Was he really?
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, he was.
He played one of the kids that was trying to get her to show him their chest.
Not a big part.
Yeah, he had like a 5-second part.
I always forget that. That just reminded me that I always forget that Jonah Hill's in Grandma's Boy.
Oh, yeah, he is. The boob boy.
Yeah.
He's also in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to buy
Yeah,
these
he's
boots.
got that one scene. Yeah.
So why do you have a store if you can't sell anything out here? Well, it's a good question, and if I had a good answer for you, trust me, I would tell you. But
Yeah.
we don't sell stuff here.
There used to be a store in Omaha where there was
Sell your stuff on eBay.
but that closed.
Freaks and Geeks left Netflix in October 2018.
Oh,
it was
wow.
on Netflix
It
for
was
years
on
though.
Do people still use eBay
Yeah.
Yeah.
for a lot of things like it used to be? Because
No, it's not the same.
it
as
used to take over
be.
the world. Now it's like
Now it's
Then
all
Amazon came along.
It's all like Amazon stuff now.
I can't believe
Or,
that.
not all, but
I can't believe that that still exists along with Craigslist. I
You
would have
know-
never thought Craigslist would have lasted this long.
They're
Well,
I know
you gotta,
online
you gotta
shopping-
please the serial murderers.
online
Yes.
shopping is really starting to kind of, well, not starting to. It has taken its toll on actual
Businesses?
retail businesses.
Because nobody
Absolutely.
wants to go to the fucking
No,
store.
people will go to the store, but what they're doing is they're going to stores so they can touch the actual product and have it in their hand and check it out,
Yeah.
and then they'll go order it online because typically it's cheaper.
Well,
true.
I mean, if you have Amazon Prime, or whether you have
We
it or
do
not, whether you have it or not, like you cannot compete with Amazon's prices.
that's not true because I've looked at stuff on Amazon before and I've located also in like the store's website or whatever, and that's not always the case with Amazon.
I mean, I buy a lot of graphic novels from Amazon because, yeah, I know we have comic book shops in town that sell them, but on
You don't wanna
Amazon,
talk to those people.
on Amazon, they're like $5 cheaper or $10 cheaper than they would be at a comic book shop.
The last time I went to a comic book shop was the last time I went to a fucking comic book shop.
Yeah, you
I
tell 'em.
bought the Gears of War used to be a comic written by Karen O'Hara, and I actually really liked it. It was a fun comic to read, and I liked the universe of Gears of War a lot, even though it's very simplified. But I went in there to buy the comics, and the guy at the fucking comic book counter looked at me and he goes, "You're actually buying these?"
Oh,
I
wow.
literally went, "Yeah, and it's the last time I'll ever be here, so ring them up and get me the fuck out of here." And
I
he's
would've
like,
left. I can't believe
he's
you
like,
bought 'em.
he's like, "I'm just saying." I'm like, "That's how you not make business. That is exactly
believe you
are the
purchased them.
everything that is wrong."
Based off of that story, I know which comic book store you're talking about, and I'm not gonna mention them on
Dragon
it.
Slayer.
Fuck them. No, it wasn't
No,
Dragon's
they're
Lair.
No,
nice there.
Dragon Slayer is awesome.
Yeah, they're nice there.
This was one.
Was it Krypton?
No, but I'll.
They might be a listener.
It wasn't.
Yeah, they don't. I don't want to say. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
who it was.
Yeah, let's just not.
So-
But I was
Giant
very.
cobweb
I
here.
was super pissed. I was like, "Oh, that's the last time I'll come in here." As he's reading some fucking bullshit himself, and I was like, "Yeah, you're reading terrible comics."
That reminds me of like The comic book store guy from The Simpsons.
That would have been more tolerable if it was him. Thank you. Yes, this should suffice a Doctor Who marathon. Speaking of Doctor Who, I need to start watching those.
Can't do it.
I haven't watched seasons 9.
I've never seen an episode.
It's not
Oh my God, it's so good.
I have been told you need to start, if you're just getting into Doctor Who, you need to start from David Tennant's tenure.
No.
If you were just getting into Doctor Who, you need to find better shit to do.
No, you're all wrong. They're all going to laugh at you.
I won't argue with that.
Doctor Who is amazing.
I've
think
given
you
it
love
several
that show.
chances, and I cannot.
Fuck you guys.
I've never seen it, so I have no opinion.
It's really good.
I will wait for them to make an American Doctor Who, and then I'll watch it.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
You almost made me vomit, dude.
I'm joking.
They did the
America
same thing
would
with Top
ruin it.
Gear, and the Top Gear American show.
Well, they did
bombed.
the same thing with The Office.
Yeah, but The Office was written with Stephen
came out
Merchant
first?
and
What came out first? Shameless UK or
Shameless UK, and it was
Shameless
way
UK.
better. Way better.
Was
The
it?
American version's terrible. I don't know why people watch
It's
it.
not
great. It's a
terrible.
great show.
I enjoy
It's so
it.
bad.
It's a fantastic show.
Bad.
I love Shameless.
Bad. Bad.
Welcome to Daniel. Once again, hates everything.
No, I just say I like
for
Doctor Who.
Except for the Gears of War comic and Doctor Who. That is our show for the night. I'm going to sit and loathe in the corner now.
But yeah, Silicon Valley season 6 comes out in October. I want to watch it.
Don't be over here acting like you've been watching Silicon Valley since day one.
Do you want to?
Sorry.
I didn't watch it.
Do you want to hear about our adventure?
Yeah, but first, can I talk about 2 other things that are on Netflix?
Okay.
Yeah.
Rocko's Modern Life movie came out last night.
Yeah.
It was really fucking good.
Oh my god, I didn't know.
Invader Zim, too.
And Invader Zim. I watched them both.
I didn't watch Invader Zim.
The
in high
Rocko's
school.
Modern Life movie was only 45 minutes long. I haven't watched it
I think it's
yet.
a test thing because they want to make it a series.
Yeah.
But they're just testing the
And
waters.
I'm hoping they do
did
the
a-
same thing with Invader Zim.
They did a really good job with it. I was like, wow, this reminds me of watching
Same
this in
people?
the 90s. Yep, it's Joe Murray and Chris Segerson. I forgot his name.
And they brought on Jonan Vasquez
And
for
Jonan Vasquez came
Invader
back.
Zim.
And he's got 2 other writers, so it's actually really funny. The old Invader Zim lost its charm after the goth kids got a hold of it, but
Yeah, that was Hot Topic.
it's fucking
All
terrible.
The raises was like, I don't know.
and
what this is.
everything looked like Invader Zim after a while
Yeah.
there. But this is actually it's well written, and it's a very comedy, like slapstick comedy. It's very good.
You should have Dana watch or Kane watch Rocko's Modern Life. I think he'd get a kick out of it.
I don't think he'd get some of the jokes.
Maybe.
But okay, what were you gonna say?
So, quick plug here. Natalie and I have a podcast that we actually like to listen to, and it's an amazing podcast.
Don't look
It's
under the bed. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Way to make it happen.
We have a few that we really like. but
With
this
your
is
host,
my-
Dan Zigo.
It's bigger than everybody.
No, we've enjoyed Small Town Murder for a long time. It's been a good podcast.
They're my heroes.
You guys are funny, informative. They're fun and informative too.
We were the first.
No, we definitely were not.
They're in part, I mean, listening to that was a lot of the inspiration for kind of what we're doing now.
They just do murder though. They don't do paranormal and stuff, which is great. They
But
do
they
amazing.
they're doing a tour, and they did a live podcast at a comedy club here in Omaha. And plug them real quick. It's the Funny Bone. Like nobody's ever heard of that. But
That's a nationwide.
these guys were so awesome during and after the show. Like we went back and met them. Just nicest couple of guys, and they bring one of their wives with them. She was super nice, just a sweet lady. But so listeners, if you would like us to do something like that, hey, you know what? Send us a few grand, and we'll come to your city.
Give me some PTO for my job.
Yeah,
And we'll go.
we'll come to your city, and it'll be fun.
And informative.
We're coming to your town.
Yeah.
And we're all wearing like different colored sweaters. And then do
But
a
in the
musical.
meantime, you know what? Just give us a good review on Twitter
Or just listen
or,
to us.
iTunes.
Or just thank us
Listen
for
to
being
us.
here and thank my ego.
I don't even need thanks. You can say Vance is the biggest asshole ever as long as you give us 5 stars. I don't care. You can say Dan is a complete douche canoe.
Wait a minute.
And
you could refer to Dan as Danye West.
And as long as
just give us a
the
good
reviews
review.
are flying in off the charts now. Daniel's an ass. Daniel's a dick. Daniel's
as long as you give us 5 stars on iTunes, because that helps out a lot. I don't care what you say. And if you do say something derogatory towards Dan, I will make sure to put a like on it.
Yeah, or Nick, or Natalie, or Vinny. Well, either one.
Hey, I'm a nice
There's
guy.
4 people here. It ain't just me, dickhead.
Nobody dislikes me.
cricket.
Well, that's cool that you guys went to.
It was amazing. It was so much fun, and we got to see some friends, Vanessa and Andrew.
The coolest part was you could tell they're legitimately like us, as far as they're not just doing it to do it. Like, they really appreciate that people are into what they're doing. Like, they let you know that they are super happy that you love what they're doing, and they love doing it for you. And that's that's the key. You know, I think that's the key to their success right there. They're a good couple of guys. So shout out.
Yeah.
Good dudes, good eggs.
Good fellas. Good
Cool.
fellas. Hot
Good job.
egg.
Natalie, what do we have for today?
Well, I thought it'd be fun to read since we're on our road trip. Let's pull over to this campsite up here, and we're gonna read some creepy camp stories that people have written.
Oh, I have to do the intro Nick said.
You just
Oh
kind
fuck,
of
we didn't do that.
yeah, you just kind of skipped
I
that.
forgot all about that.
I got you.
This is the Don't Look Under the Bed podcast for, what is it, Nick?
All things comedy and horror.
Spike,
I'm one of your,
forgetful host.
forgetful host. Dan Wonder next to me is.
Natalie Rose.
Next to her is.
Vinny Rose.
Next to me again is.
Nicholas Myers.
I didn't appreciate that tone.
I don't appreciate you.
And he said it in a
Just
song.
sometimes.
And this is only a podcast. So what are we talking about today?
Oh well, I didn't change anything from the opening, so it's
But-
still creepy campfire stories that people have written on like Reddit. I thought this would be fun.
Kumbaya, my lord.
All right.
Oh fuck!
Once you
There's an acoustic guitar behind me. Do you want to sing some campfire songs? Oh, there's not an
Why don't you go ahead and
acoustic
start
guitar
now?
I was like,
behind me, never
where?
mind.
It's over there.
And
Nick,
the first
it's
ghost
usually
story is
mine.
about the phantom guitar.
There's an acoustic guitar in this room somewhere.
It was a bright and
There
sunny
is. It's
day.
in that case over by the couch.
We could light a fire and
Not
Are
in the
you over
basement,
there?
tell
please.
some ghost stories.
Not unless it's a candle.
Tenebrae, you can't
Tenebrae's
reach your
on
mic
break.
from there.
He's sitting on the love sack.
Meow.
He's like, yeah, whatever. Okay. So these are just like from Reddit and Ranker. This will be part 1 because I thought these were fun and stupid. So I don't know. This first one's by Azrael337. He got 28 points for this for 4 years ago. I don't know what the points do.
the points are just upvotes. That's all. So
well,
it's
this
like
isn't that many.
so it's like if you get a high upvote, your shit goes to the top.
Oh,
So it's the
I
first
see.
thing they see. Yeah.
I was wondering what those were for. Okay. One summer, I helped the Boy Scout troop I was a part of. I received my Eagle Award 2 years before, but it wasn't particularly active afterwards. I like camping. They needed a few leaders. And we took a troop down to the Antietam National...
Nope.
God.
I am pretty sure that's pronounced Antietam.
Antietam, thank you.
Yeah.
National Battlefield. A number of other troops...
ANTM.
I was thinking, well, this is Wizard of Oz.
Auntie Pretzel.
Oh god, those are good. I like
I know,
Annie's
now I'm
pretzels.
hungry.
Saul,
Fuck.
Better Call Saul works at ANTM.
Does he?
Yes.
I thought
In
it was-
Omaha,
I thought
actually.
it was Cinnabon.
Fuck you. God damn it. Yes, you're right.
Well, hey, we have those here
It's
too.
in Omaha,
Eat
but
shit.
he's like, what's there to do in Nebraska? I was like, oh, nothing.
The zoo. The zoo.
The zoo.
I'll tell you what there is to do in Nebraska that Natalie knew about and never told me.
Oh,
There's
fuck.
what?
This
Pepper
again?
Jacks?
No,
No.
I got yelled at for this in the car. Like he
There's a
screamed
Nestle
at me.
Toll House cafe.
Yeah.
You fucking knew too?
Yeah. I live here, bro.
Get out of my house.
Hold on.
All right.
Did you just call it Nestle?
No, he's a Nestle.
Okay. I was making sure.
Because
I thought he said nestle.
But why did you want to go there?
We
it's
drove
not that good.
No, we drove somewhere, and I was like, okay, over there it used to be, I don't know if it's still there, but there was a Jenny Craig, a Nestle's Toll House Cafe, and a Godfather's all in a row in the strip mall. And he was
Checks
like,
out.
what? There's a Nestle's Toll House Cafe? Like, yelled at me.
Natalie, did you know there's a cat cafe in Omaha?
They just serve cat.
I don't think that's true. I think that's against the law.
I don't know where it's at.
All right, you look it up. I'm going to finish reading the story.
But it's a coffee shop where cats just wander around.
That's fucking dumb.
No, that's big.
Why would you want that?
Because they're shelter cats and you can adopt them.
Freaking awesome.
Okay.
Oh, just because your cat's fucking perfect.
Perfect. Look at the claws on this one.
Yeah, it's called Felius Cat Cafe.
Felius. Look at the cat picture they got up.
Oh, that's precious. He's blepping.
His tongue is sticking out.
He's blepping.
Hocus does that. Okay. A number of other troops also had come down for the weekend, and it was a weekend full of Civil War education, reenactments, and troops pranking other troops. All the troops were camped along the creek and on the other side of the Burnside's Bridge Road, the side that isn't part of the park. It's pretty easy anyone to cross the road and walk onto the battlefield to go up to Burnside's Bridge along the creek to see where the field where the Union soldiers massed to try to cross the bridge. Now, I grew up in Gettysburg, so ghost stories about, what'd you call it? Antietam?
Antietam.
Antietam. Damn, I'm going to say it all wrong now. Didn't bother me at all. There's enough weird tales in Gettysburg, and the other battlefields really didn't faze me. The second night we were there, the troops all hit the hay early due to the fact that we were made to march all day by an overzealous reenactor. Oh, boo-hoo. I took a walk over to the bridge right after dinner, and the sun was slowing and sinking towards the night. Oh, that was very poetic. It was actually quite beautiful seeing the field and the creek. I walked up to the bridge and started to walk across it, and I felt an excruciating sharp pain in my chest. I almost doubled over in pain and clenched my chest. I thought maybe I was having a heart attack, but both my arms were fine and free to move. I put both hands on part of my chest that hurt and felt a sharp pain right below the top of my right shoulder in the meaty part above your pecs, underneath your shoulder just from your underarm.
That's
shaking his head no.
That's called a panic attack, sir?
Oh, hold on.
Those are your
He
laps.
explains this. So the pain came and knocked me down where I almost cracked my head open on the stone side or on the side of the stone bridge. I laid there freaking out and scrambled to my feet and booked it back to camp. I got back to camp and had the other scoutmaster take a look at my chest, and I have 2 raised red lumps under. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Let me take a look at that, son.
Vinny pretended to lift his shirt up, by the way, like overzealously. I had 2 red lumps under the skin where you could see they were turning into blood blisters. He asked me what I was doing, and I told him that it just happened when I was walking around the battlefield. Not once I thought about any haunting or anything. I called it in an evening and turned in. The next morning after breakfast, the troops were scheduled to meet with the park official at Burnside's Bridge. Our troop and about 4 other ones stood on the bridge facing towards the bridge where the park official was detailing the history of the battle. When he talked about the bridge, then I paid attention more. I found that the Confederate sharpshooters took up positions on the other side of the creek, and on the side where we were all at was the Union. The Union soldiers were supposed to take the bridge and were just picked off. Well, this is where. He didn't write this correctly. And were just picked off left and right on that bridge. Confederates lost somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 soldiers, and the Union lost about over 15,000. Jesus. No Union soldier ever made it past the halfway point of the bridge. At this point, my scoutmaster just looks at me, and I'm wondering, what the hell happened the night before? And...
Okay.
TDLR?
Too long didn't read. Okay, so go ahead and read the rest of this, because I have something to say automatically.
Too long didn't read? Who wrote that?
He did. Too long didn't read.
Oh, too long didn't read. Went to the Antietam? Antietam and felt ghost bullets shoot me.
Okay, so he immediately jumps from... I don't know what happened to ghost bullets shoot me. Yes. That doesn't make any fucking sense. How first off, what is a ghost bullet?
That's a ghost bullet, and it's a bullet that's a ghost. Next.
Thanks for the tautology.
I solve all the problems.
And
I should
then
do a TED Talk.
And then he move this up. And then he goes, but there were 2 red bumps that were blisters, he would have had fucking holes in his chest if they were ghost
bullets. You don't get holes. The science of it is they just kind of like flick you, and you're like, "Oh, is that a fly?" And the scoutmaster's like, "Let me see your shirt lifted up again."
My nipple.
Yeah.
You know what happened? He got bit by a fucking spider.
Yeah, I would say
guaranteed he got bit by a spider
or a mosquito.
Sure, and
or ghost bullets.
Did you call it a mosquito?
Mosquito.
Yeah, that's how Nelly pronounces things.
Mosquito. I hate mosquitoes.
No one likes mosquitoes.
They don't
likes
bother
mosquitoes?
Me. Doesn't get bit. This one here pisses me off. I will get blood. Chewed.
They don't want it.
Yeah, it's
what
bad.
Type are you?
I don't know.
That's not a type.
Yeah, I don't know my blood.
I'm type
either.
I don't know.
No, it's IDK.
IDK.
Ragu.
I'm making a pizza. That's not pizza. That's pasta sauce. Continue, Natalie.
Alrighty. This one's called Stargazers Hears Cult-like Chants and Shouts on a Hill. From Reddit, N.R. Hinkle.
What's the Stargazer whistle song? You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Remember
I'm Jack Kevorkian.
Yeah. We used to watch that at night.
And if you look up to the northern sky, you'll see Venus.
What
the hell did he say?
That's when we were all family.
But it's like...
Your whistling is great.
You cannot whistle.
What are you, fucking chewing crackers?
Do it again.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I can do it.
No, you can't.
Yes,
Just
I can.
Stop trying.
You sound like wind in a tunnel.
Isn't that what a whistle is?
No.
Whatever. You guys don't know about this.
It's ghost bullets.
Yeah, it's ghost bullets.
I'm going to write a song called Ghost Bullets for Daniel.
Ghost bullets. Bullets in disguise.
No, that's how the song's going to go. I've never heard such lyrics before in that type of pattern.
That sounds like an impending lawsuit from Mattel. Just a guess.
All right.
Or is it Mattel or Hasbro?
Hasbro.
My bad.
Brandon just punched a wall because you said Mattel. I have been out stargazing and was sleeping in a park near town. No tent, just a sleeping bag and pad. This is fairly popular area for joggers and walkers, etc. I found a nice spot in a field, 100 meters from the top, obscured by tall grass and brush, but with a very nice view of the valley below and the mountains in the distance. It was very nice. I saw some shooting stars, heard coyotes singing in the distance, and slept very well since it was a warm summer night. In the morning, at the crack of dawn, I was woken up by the strangest performances I've ever witnessed. Above me on the hill, I could hear some kind of chanting. Due to my concealed location, I couldn't actually see what was going on, and I wasn't keen on moving to a better vantage point, lest I be seen by the group.
I quickly shook off my Ambien hangover.
No shit. A man's loud and deep voice was half chanting, half shouting in a language I couldn't identify. It sounded like a Latin-derived language, but was definitely not Spanish, though he kept repeating the word which sounded familiar to Diablo, which is Spanish for devil. There were other voices too, but he was clearly leading what was ever happening up there. Eventually, he finished his chant, and there were some other cheers and whoops, and then the entire group silently departed. After waiting for a while to make sure it was clear, I went up to where the sound had come from. There was no physical evidence of whatever had happened. I asked everybody I knew in town if they had any idea what might have possibly been, and nobody heard anything like that. To this day, one of my greatest regrets is not peeking out from my hiding spot to see what the heck was going on.
Yeah, because it was fucking nothing. It was
drunk
nothing.
Teenagers. It's always ghost bullets, no matter what you do. If he would have stood up, there would have been like 2 ghost bullets, like from their 9s. Okay, campers hear a low, loud vibration followed by a sudden silence.
Someone brought their vibrator.
Well, I was thinking fart.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Fucking gross, dude.
Okay, sorry.
But seriously, it's probably...
Nick brought his vibrator.
You guys didn't bring your Hitachis?
Where's the plug at?
Can I say something quick about one of our listeners?
No.
Apparently not.
We've got this dude that follows us. He's followed us from the beginning. It's one of our favorite fans. His name's Travis.
Fucking love Travis.
Travis.
Fucking
dude,
love Travis.
He sent the funniest picture.
The tweet that you sent to us. Thank you. It was so nice. I
didn't see it.
It had like this surfer.
Can you pull it up and show Daniel?
I couldn't find it again.
All right then.
But this surfer is standing by this fucking paper shredder, and he's got this big paper.
Oh, shredding the gnar. Yeah.
Says the gnar, and he just drops it.
That's fucking great.
Shred the gnar, dude. Yeah. Thanks, Travis. Bro.
Travis.
Cha.
I miss thee.
Trav, dude.
Yeah, you don't,
waves,
you don't
dude.
sit by Travis no more.
Travis, we appreciate you.
We do. Travis, let's shred some gnar, bro. Rip some waves.
All right, continuing, Allie.
All right, this is a story from Biggs 180.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, dick.
Yeah, dick.
Yeah, dick. All right. A few years ago, I was camping in the Everglades in Florida with a few friends. We had gone into our separate tents and we were starting to fall asleep.
No, they didn't.
Bow, 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 bow.
Oh, yeah. I'm calling bullshit.
The area was pretty noisy, with bugs, crickets, birds, etc. I had heard a very low vibration. Sounds almost like a low roar.
That's called an alligator.
It was powerful enough to vibrate my chest. Suddenly, everything in the forest shut up. No bugs, no birds, nothing. About 30 seconds later, my phone vibrated, and my friend in the other tent texted and asking me if I heard the same thing. The four of us kept texting each other, wondering what it was.
Fuck me.
About 10 minutes later, all the animals slowly started making noise again. I slept that night with my machete at my arm's reach.
Bling! Did you hear that? Bling!
You know,
no, what'd you hear? Bling.
I love every one of our fans, but if you listen to us and you're the person that wrote that, you're a fucking idiot.
But thanks for listening.
First off, you're
friends.
camping in the Everglades in Florida. The low rumble you heard was definitely probably an alligator.
Yeah.
Because that's the noise they make.
Yeah.
And all the other
hillbillies.
animals shut up because they know that's the noise an alligator makes.
Or it could have been somebody's phone going off because you were all fucking texting each other.
Someone's phone was fucking ringing.
Yeah.
God.
Jesus Christ.
People are stupid.
It's that old Nokia.
Did you guys hear that? It sounds like a ghost. And it sounds like he's from the 90s and needs a new phone.
It's not just all the fucking
an
ecstasy I
indestructible
just
ghost.
dropped either, dude.
Is that the Nokia 3610? That had Snake on
The
it.
Nokia 950.
Oh, man.
Snake was fun. So was Skydiver.
Snake was not fun.
Snake was really fun.
Fuck yeah.
Especially when you're in a jam or in a parking lot somewhere and you're waiting for your drugs.
It's the 90s. It's okay.
Or you're about to get mauled by a fucking alligator.
Sure. You can use it as a weapon, too. You just put a string on it and just whip that fucker around and just bash the brain in it.
I'm so scared, you guys. Did you hear that? There it is again.
It sounds like it's coming closer. Oh, no, it's in my pocket. All right.
The 90s. All right, this one's called Family Finds Woman Digging a Hole Outside Their Tent.
She's going to take a shit.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
what
your-
that's what
I'm
campers
sorry. I don't
do.
mean to ruin these, but
No, they're dumb.
No, that's why we're doing this. 'Cause we needed some lighthearted
that's
stuff.
Actually, what campers do is they dig holes, they take shits, and they bury
Oh, you're
it.
supposed to do
and they
that?
wipe
Yeah,
with
I was gonna
poison
say,
ivy.
I just shit at the top of the tent and let it roll down.
Oh,
If you do it with friends, it's like a race.
It's like Plinko.
what if
It's fun because they like forming the balls on the way down.
what if it's
Snowball
Not
fight.
if it's
Perfect little
liquid.
poopy
but
spear.
what if it's the runs?
Yeah, I was saying, if it's
Hey,
liquid.
that's why you got that.
Did it start raining?
That's why you got that little rain cover thing that
Well,
goes over your
we
tent.
spray the tent with mink oil. So it's okay.
Yeah. All right. This is from a former Redditor, and then they didn't put their name. So,
Because they're fucking embarrassed.
all right. I was in my tent. It was the middle of the night, perhaps about 1 a.m., and I had woken up to go pee just like normal.
What?
I wake up like 5 times a night to go pee.
Yeah, that's like one. I do it like an hour after I fall asleep. You just have to go.
She's like, well,
I just-
first off, she doesn't get out of bed before
Nope.
she goes.
We don't have a water bed, but sometimes it feels that way. I was about to unzip my tent when I heard a small scratching sound. I paused. It was slow, deliberate, crunchy digging sound. It was too rhythmic for an animal, so after making sure it wasn't my dad who I was sharing a tent, I unzipped the corner and peeked out. The moon was just bright enough for me to see a young woman squatting right next to her
Told you.
little 2-man tent, digging at the ground with her bare hands. My dad went and shined the flashlight on her and told her to go back to wherever camp she had made. The woman got up silently, leaving a 4-inch hole next to the tent, and started walking away. I went outside to pee and got back into my sleeping bag. A few minutes later, I was awoken again by the clattering sound of a person or an animal walking around where we had put our stuff.
Animals don't clatter, first off.
Raccoons do.
Do they?
Yeah. They're noisy.
They got bling on or something?
No, they're going through your cans and stuff. Yeah, they're loud. And they're adorable.
I think the crunching noise was this lady wiping with a fucking pine cone.
This is not efficient.
It's an ASMR of her wiping her butt.
Oh, God.
It's like wax paper.
Nothing sticks to that.
I wish I had a ghost poop right now.
This pine cone's like John Wayne. It's rough, it's tough, and it don't take shit off of nobody.
I looked outside again. The woman was crouched low, walking around our stuff, looking at things the way a monkey might. My father stepped out of the tent, shined the flashlight on her again, and she faced him. He asked her kindly to leave their stuff alone, but she just stood there, dirty and neglected looking, but clearly not malnourished, staring at his light.
Was she fat? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
Clearly
well, maybe they think she looked like Gonti. He gave up and went back into our tent.
It's Nell.
Why the fuck would you go back into your tent? Yeah. Oh, like chicka pie.
Oreo, chicka pie, Miss May.
How big of a dipshit would you have to be if you felt threatened? Quick, get in the tent!
Not like I can't come in there.
Yeah. Is this a zipper or just cut the hole in it?
Let me just show you here. Look. Now I'm in. Now I'm out.
Yeah.
Now I'm in.
She's towing with us.
Don't you try it.
Shut up and go dig your hole.
Soon we heard her digging again at her little hole. Oh, well, she did do that. Okay. Which was literally 6 inches and 2 pieces of thin nylon away from my head. I shouted for her to go away, and then she ran away in an animalistic kind of way and never returned. I fell back to sleep, and in the morning our stuff was scattered, but nothing was stolen.
So it sounds like it was just a homeless woman.
Yeah, probably a homeless woman trying to take a shit.
This is the only story on here
food.
That has made me kind of scared.
Yeah, that is weird.
Because it's a real human being.
Fucking creepy.
And you don't know them from fucking Adam, and they're dirty.
What if she had a 9mm ghost bullets?
Did you say she had made an animalistic noise?
Yeah.
No, she ran away in an animalistic manner.
Oh, I was going to say, she runs away.
But it really happened like this. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
She's running away. Eehaw! Eehaw!
She gets up and runs away. Meow.
I wonder what her animalistic way of running was. Like, I could just picture her.
Probably running on all fours.
She ran away and sounded like a rattlesnake.
The cow goes.
She's got a see and say what.
Oh, man.
And she drops it, and they see it, and the arrow pointed to poop in a hole. That's what I got to do.
Oh, that's
holy shit.
Oh.
All right, this is a stranger in poncho follows camp group from Reddit user Stealth Ghost.
Oh.
We were doing a group trip in the woods, literally 40 minutes from any town.
Literally. Why don't you say geographically, stupid?
Literally.
Like, not fucking 39, dude.
Literally going to happen.
Literally. That's a good skit. We asked our group leader if we can go back to our cabin as the night rolls around. He says, sure. And and we begin to walk.
It's so pertinent to the story, isn't it?
It is. Sure. And then we began to walk.
You guys look horny. Take off.
God.
Unless anyone on campus won't stick around.
That's fucking good.
We have to walk through a path that's 10 minutes long and in the middle of a thick forest.
Was it literally 10 minutes long?
Literally a thick forest. That was
like
literally.
It was a figurative 10 minutes.
And they said, sure. And they kept walking.
Sure. When we were halfway to our cabin, I got an uneasy feeling. I turned around and literally 10 feet behind us was that was not improv. That was in the story. Literally 10 feet behind us was this random guy in a yellow poncho following us. I told my friends. We all turned around, and none of us recognized him. The guy in the poncho just smiled at us for a second and then ran off the path into the woods. So my friends and I sprinted to the cabin where the rest of the group was already there. We told the group leader there that about it, and so he calls the other leaders, and they start looking around. They didn't find anything, but a new rule was placed and required someone to be with the leader at all times when you're outside the cabin.
Okay. So,
literally.
So the guy saw a bunch of people, smiled, and ran off. Yeah, I bet he was just as scared of seeing them than they were of him.
I wonder if it was like a poncho or if it was like a I don't give a shit what you did last summer rain slicker.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't give a shit what you did last summer.
Is that the sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Instead of a claw for a hand, he's got one of those trash picker upper squeeze things.
Wait, she's yelling, "Where are you?" And he's eating chips. He's like, I'm over here.
I'm literally
I don't care what you did last summer. That's my job.
Nobody cares.
I'm just here to pick up this garbage in this area, so thanks. This one's called They're Playing My Song, and this is Goat of Mendes.
Why is a text all small? What did you do?
I don't know.
I can't read it.
When the little tray on the computer came out and I put my drink on it, I hit a button and I don't know what I did. So all right.
My computer don't even have cup holders.
That's bullshit. You don't have that's like not the Cadillac version.
But now I got all these shiny coasters.
You notice there's no disk drives on computers anymore?
Yeah, I don't have one.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're my go-to.
It's crazy.
I like them.
It's crazy.
Well, do you buy a CD for anything anymore?
You do sometimes. You do.
That lady was probably putting them all in her fucking hole.
Just like, I clapped your CD trays.
She's got all the ET games that they dug up from that junkyard, and then she put them in the hole by their tent.
And then she pees on them.
Yep. And then the game comes to life.
Sorry, go Nally.
A couple years ago, my brother bought a large piece of land out in the middle of nowhere, about 30 miles or so from cell phone reception. It's quiet, and there's no light pollution, no paved roads, and not a lot of people around. Shortly after he bought the place, two of my brothers and their landowner and another, me, and our family spent a weekend camping on the land, doing our best to clean it up.
What if cell phone reception's the name of a town? 30 miles from cell phone reception.
Oh, it's over there, literally 30 miles over there yonder.
Do you guys have cell phone reception and cell phone reception? No. That's over in the cell phone
That's
store.
In the dead zone.
Yeah.
That's in the neighbor town, roaming.
There were many down trees, etc., and people had used the land as a dump. On the second night we camped there, I woke up in the middle of the night to take a leak. As I was walking to the bushes in the dark, I realized that I can faintly hear music. This didn't strike me as odd because I knew my brother had a radio in his camper. What did you listen to? Cotton Eye Joe? Is that the breakdown? I realized that I could faintly hear music. This didn't strike me as odd because I knew my brother had a radio in his camper. I finished up and went back to sleep and thought no further of it. And then the next morning at breakfast, I mentioned the radio music. Several other people recalled walking in the night and hearing music, but no two people heard the same music. Finally,
oh my God,
I know.
It's like it's on shuffle.
Well, it wasn't.
It was the CD on
shuffle. It wasn't
shuffle.
fucking Spotify because they don't get signal out there. So
no.
Oh yeah.
No.
Sure.
Finally, my brother, who brought the radio, woke up. I asked him about it, and the music. He seemed a bit freaked out. He woke up sometime during the night and went outside to smoke. He heard music as well and assumed it was someone else. I should mention that he is the only one with a generator and a radio. It wasn't the radio we heard, and it wasn't anyone else's either.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've been back several times, but I'm a bit freaked out by the place at night. I have fun while I'm there, but I'm almost always armed and I don't sleep in the tent anymore. I sleep in my SUV with the doors locked. It may seem kind of dumb, but realizing that everyone heard different music when there were no other people, no functional radios, and no electricity is quite creepy.
There are so many avenues to get music.
Seriously.
It didn't also say, how long ago. A couple of years, but I don't know when that was, published.
It could have been a boombox. It could have been someone with downloaded music on their phone.
I hope it was, those hip-hopping 80s breakdancers with the giant boom boxes.
Yeah.
They had the cardboard out.
Just some
it was
dude
breaking.
in an Adidas tracksuit,
Yes.
walking around
a
with
roving gang of them.
Yes.
They walk around and just they break dance at night.
That's what I'm talking about. If I saw that out in the woods, I'd be like, all right, I can get down. Let's boogie.
Scatter. The break dancers are after us.
We're out camping, and this is what we do. When you hear music, we're gonna kill you.
Dan.
So don't walk away. Come on and dance. I'm the guy who just got hired.
All right, I think this meeting is over and we're all leaving. That guy ruined it. Let's go to the 90s, man.
Peace.
Noise.
Dan.
Noise. I'm just nice and you're nice, dude.
We were listening to Falco, Rock Me Amadeus.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, the octagon drums.
Oh, man, those are so badass.
Rest in peace, Falco. Rest in peace.
Amadeus, Amadeus.
It's a good song.
I'm a player, I'm a player, I'm a player.
Such a
Stop
good song.
Have
you guys ever seen Adventureland?
Yes.
Yes.
I love
They
the
play that
scene
song
in that
all-
movie with Martin Starr, and he's like, they play this goddamn song one more time and burn this place to the ground.
He's so great. He's just so blasé.
I liked
love
him in it, but I didn't like that movie.
It wasn't
terrible.
It's kind of bland.
It wasn't
Yeah, it was
awful.
bland, but it wasn't terrible.
And Kristen Stewart sucks.
Yeah.
It's one of her better.
I
Kristen
say
Stewart.
she still made the
Moments.
face.
Yeah, 6 movies, 1 look.
This one's called Odd Carvings in the Trees, and it's from Daring Confection. Ooh.
Confection or like sugar.
Around 18 months ago, when my girlfriend and I first got together, we went camping regularly and a couple of friends in a large ancient forest. We would go in, set up the tent in the light, and then barbecue, have some beers, and sleep. Well, our friends would. We went several weeks running, same routine, different friends each time, etc., until one night we decided to leave the tent and return later so we can get some more supplies. I don't know why he put supplies in quotes like that.
I think he meant like
Supplies.
yeah, beers or drugs or something.
Ooh, he's
I think he meant the pot.
Oh, as Nick says, the devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
When we returned to the tent at dusk, but found a stick figure made from twigs at the entrance of the tent. We smoked a bit, had some booze. One of our friends, who reluctantly joined us on the occasion, turned strange. He disappeared into the woods, which we found strange.
Stupid.
As he was
Randy turned strange.
He's like, he just turns around. He's like, I wear mittens on my face. Just floats off. The guy's strange now, man.
I don't think we hang with him.
I'm assuming the pot may have been laced.
Maybe.
Just a guess.
He disappeared into the woods, which we found strange, as he was petrified of the. It says on the woods. On the way into the woods, and we could hear nothing but singing for at least an hour. He eventually returned. We continued to party until it started raining heavily, at which point we decided we'll call it a night. We woke up in the morning and decided to pack the tent down. It eventually became obvious that the trees surrounding our tent had the same shape as the figure carved into the bark. Dun, dun, dun. We pretty much rushed to get out of there and came across a still burning pit of fire surrounded by felled trees. That was the final straw. So we ran to the remaining mile back to my car.
That's it, trees.
I have
no more.
I have to add that the woods I'm talking about has a history of deaths and suicide, and also has reports of witchcraft too. In fact, the surrounding 20 miles has quite a lot of stuff like that.
Oh man,
Wow.
man, he turned our friend strange, and there were stick figures, and now there's trees. Oh God,
Brent, calm down. You're in the woods.
Oh God, shut! Don't you tell me to calm
Brent,
down.
calm down.
Don't you tell me.
Someone get him some
He's
mushrooms.
fucking strange.
We need to calm him down. Let's get him some mushrooms.
I'm just gonna take a wild
like
guess
mushroom.
here and assume their pot was probably laced with psychedelics.
Well, like the guy went.
Or Apple Jacks.
Fuck yeah, I love Apple Jacks, dog.
But the guy went strange and then he just came back. Like,
Well, he was singing in the wood for an hour.
okay, then he was fucking high.
That's how you
like,
get the strange
Yeah,
out.
it's like...
this is stupid. This guy's dumb.
No, because the final straw was the trees. That's it. We're running
That
them out
was
of the car.
Final straw.
I wonder why that guy sings when he cuts trees down. That's fucking weird.
He just looks behind him. That's it. I've had enough of this shit. No,
Hey,
no more of these fucking trees.
hey, Dan, are you done being strange? Yeah, all right, let's go.
2 more minutes.
Hurry the fuck up,
please.
Dan.
I just shit my pants.
Dan's right in the back of the truck.
That's in my shoes now.
I thought Dan's pants shit himself. Wait.
Not when I'm strange.
Oh, no, when you're strange, it's when it's flipped. Okay.
People are strange,
I was just
especially this guy.
Hold on, you guys hear that?
Good job, Tenebrae.
All right, this one's called Stayed in a Haunted Cabin from Hot Check.
Hot chick.
Hot.
No,
Hot.
Hout
Check?
check.
Like a check.
Yeah. Like
check.
check.
Check that you
Check.
write
Check.
that bounces a couple days later.
What are you trying to say? Nick?
Say,
No,
I know we're
that's-
poor, but come on.
No, my checks.
Oh,
that wasn't
okay.
directed at you guys.
People write me checks and then they bounce. I once stayed in a cabin in Arkansas facing the river. One side of the cabin was almost all windows with no blinds or anything, which made me feel really creeped out, especially the first time it got dark and you couldn't see outside.
I sleep way better when people have a way to look in at me.
I'm what you call an exhibitionist.
Yeah. The first night we stayed there, this beating started in all sides of the cabin, and it was a loud, eerie, and fast-paced, moving from one wall to the next or the roof.
Someone was masturbating for sure.
Fucking gross.
God, I don't know how to finish this. A few times...
Oh, come on. That was going to say it.
A few times the gas-powered fireplace would roar up and then go out. The TV would turn on just to be static. Really cliche stuff. We would also hear whispering at night with... And because I was too much of a wuss to sleep with the lights off after the first night, we left the hall light and the bedroom door shut and locked until we started seeing shadows under the door. We got the fuck out of there.
It's the masturbating dude.
I don't know if
this sounds like what inspired that movie Handjob Cabin.
What fucking kind of movie are you watching?
Dude, I sent you the trailer for this like several months ago. There's
There's
an actual movie called Handjob Cabin where this like this ghost that haunts this cabin just gives people hand jobs.
Yeah. I don't know if the place was poorly built or people were messing with us or what, but the shadows on the door was way too much for me. Camping is fun though. Give it a chance. Despite being scared as hell, it's one of my fondest camping memories. God, excuse me. This one's called Man Sees a Giant Sphere of Light Zooming Across the Sky.
That's very specific for a fucking title.
Yes. And this is by Kathleen. 1984-1985 time frame. Ooh, let's go back to the 80s. Nobody? Okay. We're not going back to the 80s, apparently. Okay.
I fucking lived my life
I'll
in
go
the
by
80s.
myself, I guess.
80s was before my time.
No, I'm just saying back in time.
It's
So it was
just
1929, but
girl.
yeah. Thanks. It was a break from college, and the group of us decided to go on a week-long raft trip. The river went to a Native American reservation. Reservation. The nights were clear and beautiful. The river was slow and manageable. Everything was going pretty well until the next night, or until the last.
Until the next night.
Oh, until the next to the last night. I was like, what? We had finished dinner and put everything away. My travel mates had snuggled into the tents. I stayed outside to stargaze a while to identify different constellations. Since we had no moon, we were miles away from the nearest light pollution, and it was a gloriously clear night. When I saw it at the edge of the horizon, a huge light bigger than the moon, it went across the sky faster than an airplane and disappeared far into the horizon. It took maybe 60 to 90 seconds to traverse the sky. I started yelling at my mates for about 5 seconds after I saw it, and I realized that it wasn't going away. I now realize it was probably a meteor, but if I would have followed it to Bethlehem. All right, just a couple more here, and then we'll wrap this bitch up. Man stumbles upon a children's cemetery. This is from Redditor MSS5333. In Georgia, I unknowingly walked into an abandoned cemetery for children. It was overgrown with weeds and bushes, and I nearly tripped over some of the tiny headstones from the 1800s. There was no signs or anything there, just a lot of graves that you can't quite make out until you're walking on top of them.
That was his story.
That was the story. I just thought it was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I thought it was cool.
Was it a children's cemetery or a children's cemetery? Like they own it.
They own it. I'd say big monopoly. You don't want to fuck with them.
Man stumbles over child at a cemetery.
Ooh.
Hits head on gravestone, dies. The end.
The kids laughing. Tee. Campers wake up to rocks surrounding their tent. From Redditor, I hate New York. Wow, that's very specific.
I woke up and there's a bunch of dirt and sticks around my tent.
I was like,
I didn't know where I was.
That was the last straw.
That was the last straw.
I was backpacking in Beartooth Wilderness in the early 2000s with a good friend of mine. 3 days into the hike, we only had seen one other couple. On the third night, at about 4 a.m., we were woken in our tent to what sounded like screams in the forest. Big, guttural screams. Obviously, we were freaked out sitting in the tent.
That was the last straw.
Not knowing what was out there. We started hearing what sounded like hail for about 15 minutes, followed by heavy footsteps near our camp. My friend and I started yelling to make tons of noise, and the commotion outside the tent slowly came to a halt. In the morning, after not sleeping at all, we unzipped the tent to the creepiest scene. All around our tent were literally thousands of little pebbles that were not there the evening before.
Dude.
Surrounding the tent in a near perfect circle were 20 or 150 to 300 pound boulders. My friend and I noped
the fuck out of there.
Oh, that's
nope the fuck out.
I see now. And we're making a 3-day hike into one, practically running the entire way to the car. So somebody's fucking with them, so they just ran off.
I picture them running and like you hear like the feet taking off like in the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last one for this episode. This is being multiple
Real
parter.
quick, I'll bet you that place is beautiful because
I was actually wondering where this was at.
It's in the corner of like southern Montana, northern Wyoming, and northeast Idaho.
It is. Look at that picture. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
We need to go there.
Let's go.
Let's go fishing.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, father and son hear screaming in the night. Redditor, Brother Batman. My dad and I were out camping in the mountains. We had set up our tents, but then we heard screams from the woods. We packed up our stuff and drove to a different part. We thought it was mountain folks eating people or something. We drove down to the store and told the clerk that we had heard screams. It's lights out. It turns out it was an orgy of people who dress up in animal costumes. He was telling us that they have been doing this for years. Just want to end on a fun note. And that's creepy camping stories part 1.
What if their animal costumes were like old restaurant mascot costumes? This one smells like chicken.
It's Chuck E. Cheese.
It's Chuck E. Cheese and
Showbiz Pizza Crew.
Yeah.
Like the eyes missing and shit,
Yeah.
though.
Was that Five Nights at Freddy's costumes?
And there's holes cut out in the private areas.
So in case they want to go up next to a cabin somewhere and scare somebody.
All right, well, thanks, Natalie, for doing all that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Appreciate it.
Wasn't very informative.
Those stories are
high five, guys,
of the utmost stupidity. Like a lot,
right?
Like if you go camping and stuff and you hear this shit, it's like, come on, guys.
We should take a D-Lub camping trip just overnight.
I heard a bunch of bugs and stuff, and I just got really scared, and that was the last straw. I said, I'm going to a hotel.
Is that a cicada I hear? Nope, we're out of here. Nope.
I don't like camping.
Why?
I just don't like it. I don't
because
like
when he was young, him and my dad would go on their father-son camping. Nope, that did not happen.
Didn't happen. You almost had me, though. You almost planted good memories in me.
I tried to implant those good memories.
Brandon would go camping.
Yeah, he would.
I'm sure he would.
Yeah,
I'm
Brandon
not fucking do it. Fuck camping.
Brandon's fun to camp with.
Camping sucks. I want to be at home where my TV is and
your
my
cat.
That's pretty much it. Thanks, Nelly.
Yeah.
Hey, Vinny.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey.
How are you?
Without giving too much away, how can people get a hold of us?
What do I do?
I like
the telephone.
McDonald's.
I like McDonald's.
Our landline.
Well, Dan, I think the easiest way to get a hold of us is through our email, which is don'tlookunderbedpodcast@gmail.com.
You gave it too much away.
We also love to see your tweets at us, so Twitter @DLUTV.
No, Natalie. That's not what that means.
Send us your twats.
Yeah, don't show me your twats.
I didn't mean like that.
I'll take them.
All right. Bye.
Dan just opened a Twatter account.
Oh my god, I should make one. That should be a thing.
What?
I'll explain later when the kids are off the air.
Let's not do that.
But I can make money.
Anyway, also you can look us up on Facebook. You can hear us YouTube. We're on Spotify, Podbean. We're on iTunes, which is where you can give us that awesome 5-star rating. You know what? Even if you don't use iTunes, do us a favor. Download iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating, and then fucking delete iTunes. I don't care.
No, we get listeners on iTunes.
But no, listen to us on Spotify then or wherever. But the 5-star ratings really do help us grow. We are growing. We're getting listeners all around the world now, which is awesome. So yeah, reach out to us. You can donate straight to us through our Patreon site, which is Patreon/DLUTB, or you can donate through PayPal directly. And just by putting our email address into PayPal, it's don'tlookunderthebedpodcast@gmail.com. Also, all this information's on our website at don'tlookunderthebed.net. So if you haven't, hit us up there. Give us some likes, some loves, all that good stuff, man. We love reading your emails. We love reading your tweets, especially Travis's. That was fucking great, buddy. And that's really all I got, Dan.
All right. Well, this has been the Don't Look in the Bed podcast, the podcast for all things comedy horror. Thanks again for listening, each and every one of you. I'm one of the forgetful Stan Wonder. Next to me is
Natalie Rose.
Next to her is
I'm one of your grateful hosts, Vinny Rose.
Oh, and then one next to me again is
Nicholas Myers.
Dictures and twats. You got two
Dictures.
sites. You got two sites.
Did you say dictures?
Yeah, Dictures.
God damn it.
Oh, like pictures. Got
exactly. I'm making money. Making money.
You got Sheryl Crow and Kid Rock. I put your dicture away.
Brandon loves that song. He sings it. He sings it. I threw your picture away. What does he sing?
I burned your picture
Your
away.
pitcher? Like
Yeah.
your Kool-Aid pitcher?
Threw your picture away.
No, he sings it right.
God.
Anyway, guys, thank you again for
Thank
listening.
you.
We love each and every one of you. And have a good night. Bye.